Alrighty guys, let's get right to it. In the next part of the Mega Marklin review, I'm going to be showing you this. My Marklin version of the Ice 2. Okay, we see this ice has a story behind it. If we have a look at this, we can see that the Marklin 2009-2010 catalogue contains this version of the Ice 2, the one that I own myself. As you can see here, it's not listed as a new item, and has actually been produced for a few years before this date. However, in seeing it in this magazine, I finally decided I want to order it, and this was in 2010. Firstly, Marklin assured me that it was coming out in quarter 2, because it didn't make sense that an already produced item would be released and be re-released again. Does it? Well, turns out it does. It seems that Marklin has this strange thing with producing something, one batch for 1 year, at a certain time of that year, and then waiting till the next year to make another batch of it. I don't even know, it might be different in Germany, but that's what they told us in Australia anyway. And so, I was assured quarter 2. However, very quickly, quarter 2 became quarter 4, which started to annoy me, because I had been waiting now for 12 months. Then I was assured, oh, before Christmas, then before New Year's, and then after New Year's came, so did this, the 2010-2011 catalogue. And sure enough, once again, we've got the same ice train. But has it been sent to Australia yet, despite being on order for a year? No. And so I begin to wonder. And sure enough, after much dealing with my dealer, it finally got to halfway through 2011 before Marklin sent us an email saying that they don't produce this model anymore, despite it being in this catalogue, for 2010-2011. This confused me greatly, and my dealer didn't really have any other option, and said, well, there's nothing really we can do, so buy it online. Hence the fact, as I'll show you, it actually comes from a starter set, the engine that I bought. But then what makes things even stranger, we have a look at the new Marklin Mile 2011 catalogue. It's back. Exactly the same product number, exactly the same product. So what is Marklin doing? Well, it seems sometimes if they forget by accident that a product's been ordered from Australia, they just sort of don't tell anyone, and then just say they can't be bothered to make it anymore. So anyway, that's the story of my ice. Let's get on to the actual review. Now this set I bought from a starter set, and so what had happened is the person on eBay had broken up the train from the rest of the track and sold it. So as you can see over there, that white column is the cutout from the starter set box. So right here I have the card for the train. As you can see the product number on the back, 29791, with a nice little graphic of the engine, and on the front we've got Marklin Digital. And see, you're probably wondering what this is. Well, it's a Marklin key card, and what it allows you to do is on this version of the central station, as well as the new version of the mobile station, you simply insert the card, and all the details about the locomotive are transferred without you having to search the database. Just a nice feature there. Now let's have a look at the actual locomotive. In this set, you get 4 cars. You get your motor car, first, second class carriage, you get a dining car, and if we move over here, you get a cab control car. Now, each of these cars can only be coupled in one direction, because as we can see, these couplings are special kind of couplings. They're not current conducting, but they're like this. As you can see, we've got the little tongue male section here, and we've got a female section here. So they're really close couplings, meaning that on the curves, we get really nice close together joins. Tip of advice though, don't push them together all the way, because otherwise they're too difficult to pull apart, as I encountered. Now, on a whole, the detailing on this locomotive, I can't really show it to all of you because it simply won't be picked up by the camera, is really nice. Although it looks basic, as you can see, if we zoom in, let me see if I can show you some of the little, there you go, you can't really see it, but the detailing, there you go, the detailing there, you can sort of see how much effort they put into those little numbers. Interesting to note is that the lights at the back end of the car are constantly on. Now, at first I thought this was being lazy on Marklin's part. However, if we have a look at the carriage itself, we can see that it's electrically isolated from the front and simply has an electrical connection which makes sure the lights are either on when the power's on or off when the power is off. So I can understand Marklin doing this design feature because they would have had to have either current conducting couplers or another $100 decoder in the front of the locomotive, which would have been way too expensive for a beginner model. Now, onto the front end of the locomotive, what you get is, here if I uncouple it, as I showed you in a previous video, the basic stock standard kind of drive. You've got your 4-wheel drive, don't believe what Marklin tells you, which is only 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and then with vertically opposite traction tyres on the back set of axles. So this is a heavy locomotive and very powerful. So you've got no worries about, not having enough power to pull even a fully complete 8-car train. And so you've got your stock standard Marklin pantograph. It would have been nice if they'd included a special high-speed one, but it does the job because it's in a nice black colour. Not a lot of detailing on the roof, but just enough. And then we've got the front end here. Now on the front, we can control the lights, like so. There you go. When it's going forward, they're on. When it's going backwards, they automatically switch off. However, you get 2 other features with this. Have a listen.
Bitte einsteigen. Türen schließen selbstständig. Vorsicht bei der Abfahrt.
If anyone can tell me what that means, I'm very welcome. I can't decipher it. And there you go, a very nice, authentic ice horn. And then the inclusion of these sound effects really add to the locomotive. So as you can see, we've got quite a nice locomotive. We've got a special can motor, whatever that means. You get reasonably quiet running. And also reasonably fast too. So, what's wrong with this locomotive, now that I've sort of explained what's sort of about? Well, for a start, as I already explained to you, the headlights at the back get a little bit annoying every now and then, but for a beginner locomotive, that's allowed. However, the main gripe I have with this locomotive is the fact that the carriages. If you want to make a prototypical 8-car train, you have to buy an extra, well, as you can see, I've got 4, so you need to buy another 4 carriages. However, Marklin only releases these carriages every so often, and because they're changing design of the ice constantly, it means that sometimes they have different couplings, so it can be really hard to find coaches that work with this engine. And then my next little thing is that I think that although it's a really nice set, for beginners, it's not very, how should I say this word? Very, allows for expansion. There you go. Because as you can see how these front couplings here, on the real locomotive they open to reveal a coupling. And something which I would have liked to see Marklin do in all of their ice locomotives that have open couplings is to copy the example that Fleischmann has set, where you can actually remove this and there's a normal Marklin coupling underneath. Because not only does this allow you to prototypically couple 2 of these half-train 8-carriage sets to make a full 16-car set, it would also mean that for younger kids, or maybe even me, that you could couple trucks or other coaches, and even though it's very unprototypical, it adds a lot more play value to the locomotive. And I think that's something that Marklin should invest in their future models of the ice. But apart from that, I really don't see many problems with this ice. Apart from the one thing that, although as you can see, we had the 2 sound modules, on the battery-powered ice, which costs only €99 as opposed to €200, you get an extra sound. That's right. On a plastic, magnetic version of this ice here, you get the doors closing sound, as well as station announcements and the horn. And I think that's a bit disappointing that Marklin, in one of their higher-end models, as this is said, this is the only version of the Ice 2. There's no Pro version which has all the sounds available. This is the only version available for both beginners and experts alike. And so I think it's disappointing that the beginner trains of the ice that are powered by batteries and are made of plastic really have more sound features than this one here. But apart from that, this is a really nice ice train, and I think I actually prefer this very much so to the first version of the ice, and look forward to getting more ices in the future. So my recommendation is, if you're starting a collection, don't go anywhere near powered rail cars, especially from Marklin, because they do not have couplings that you can couple up to other locomotives or other carriages. However, if you want to add a sleek and fast train to your collection, then I recommend this ice, because not only is it good value, it also has sound features, and 4 coaches is pretty decent. That's all we've got time for now from Train.